Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Being a fishing fan in real life and a gamer, it's only fair to take a look at the best fishing game on the planet. RussianFishing4 is a fishing simulator with RPG elements. The game does not have a storyline and the whole process is based on a concept of an open game. A small note here, if any Let's Play video I make gets some traction and people ask for more, I will continue to make new episodes. Game starts you with a spinning rod and a telescopic one and makes you do a small tutorial fishing with each one, which is good. I don't know why you don't have a feeder starter rod too, so bottom fishing is not explained at all. I don't really like that because I know how much of a currency and time sink this game really is, and I don't understand why you don't get a feeder rod too. So you have a decent foundation with all fishing techniques from the start. It doesn't matter because with the starting 50 silver I buy myself just that, a starter fishing rod. In this first water body you can go wrong with bottom or float fishing. While you can catch perch, pike and other species, I don't recommend it. Spin fishing is shit on this lake. You can see it from the menu already. Speaking of which, from last time I played this, they changed it so you can buy your way into any water body with gold. Gold is the overpriced currency you buy with real money, by the way. So I try to wrap my head around this, but I don't get it. Let's say I buy my access to Sura River, for example. It would cost me, I don't know the exact amount of money, and I don't even look for it. What will I do there with the gear I have? Spoiler alert, I will break all my shit then quit the game. Or I would break all my shit then buy some gear with real money. You can't do any of that at level 1 because gear actually requires you to have certain levels to use it, thankfully. You can still buy your infinite access though. Whatever, I derailed and I will derail multiple times during this video. So, with my shiny new feeder rod, telestick, wet bread and a bunch of worms, I start fishing. It feels good. Every cast something is happening. A new achievement or a level up or a new unlock. This is expected in this kind of games and this part is the most rewarding. I don't really like the angle of the mini camera at the bottom when float fishing. No idea why they didn't implement something directly through the UI like Fishing Planet, where you just have that flat two-dimensional bobber and you clearly see how it moves. I mean, if you gamify something, fully commit. You already broke the immersion, so what the hell. Fishing feels really good in this game, I mean compared with any other fishing game there is. The sad part is the fact that this game looks the same as it did when it released. They improved it here and there, don't get me wrong, but overall is in the same state. I expected the water to be better, to see waves and splashes when I reel in a fish. I mean, they are there, but I expected higher quality after all those years. Night sky looks pretty dated too. Water lilies, normals are all fucked up, so they like this. Game has these kinds of inconsistencies that break the immersion for me time and time again. Trees after a certain distance turn to billboards, and they look flat with no depth. I know Speedtree has a nice feature that generates a normal map for the billboard that helps with this exact problem. Also, the maps look the same, the geometry is so low. I'm pretty sure the game could run on some mobile devices at this point. And there is this thing that always annoyed me with the game. During nighttime, when the air is colder than the water starts to evaporate and it condenses into a fog we see. From distance the effect looks alright, but from up close it looks like shit. At depths, at least you could try to do some soft particles shader so the texture isn't cut by water. And please, that scaling when a new particle comes on or off, it's so off-putting, at least for me. Anyway, am I nitpicking? The thing is, with all the development being put into this game, it slightly annoys me. It's just water bodies, fish species and new gear. Looks like there is zero work at the engine or previous content. Anyway, I was chilling on this lake, fishing all around the place, catching fish, leveling up, increasing my skills. When I reached level 10, I noticed I unlocked some challenges. No idea if those reward you anything, but it's cool, it's something new for me. I got a nice cafe order for Raf, netting me 31 silver, which is nice. And another one with 7 common roach that was giving me another 32 silver. And some more orders for 10 or so, plus I sold the rest of the fish net for 95. I feel I made bank. After that, I bought another Sorrento FD100 feeder, so I can finally fish with 3 rods, and went to Winding River. I was fishing there in random spots searching for no idea what, mainly using 2 feeders and 1 spinning setup. Went all along the river looking for good spots, but I didn't have a plan yet. I had a few busy moments like this where I didn't know what to pull out first, and was cool. To my surprise, I managed to hook a pretty big zander. That's my biggest catch so far. Sweet. Then I get an eyed, some perch, some common roach, white brims and other small fish. During the night I get a beast on one of the feeders. After a while I managed to reel it in. Turns out it was a big brim. Next day on my spinning setup, same story, I get something big. I mean, it's all relative with the gear, but you know what I mean. Looks like a chub. Oh yeah, it's a decent chub. Nice. Went to sell my fish and will just show you the net because I didn't capture the entire session. These fish are pretty small and I start recording only if my reels go brrr. So I missed my 2 trophies I got and the donets rough. Anyway, this net made me 177 silver. So this is where the silver is. How do I get more of those donets? After some research I found out they are active at night and like worms. Looking for those little guys, I up my skills quite a bit. I'm pretty content with that. More cafe orders, more silver in the bank, life is good. And a nice net, giving me another 171 silver. If I came a bit hard on the game by the end of the video, I want to give a big thumbs up to the community. The community is great. I have only good experiences to talk about when it comes to my fellow players. People are willing to help you if you're not a prick. They tell you fishing spots, sometimes help you with bait and stuff, but from what I saw, don't ask for stuff. Just talk like a normal human being and it goes a long way. So thank you again, Werbex, for your lures. I will put them to good use. Haven't done it yet. The plan is to start pushing spin fishing on Quarry or Belaya. Stay cool, bro. Level 14. I got at some point 3 days of premium because why not? And just look at that XP. I'm pretty sure it was almost half of level or something. This spot is insane, to be honest. Spoiler alert, I stayed here until level 18. During nighttime you get plenty of donuts sometimes and generally good fish, and during the day, if you don't want to move, there is still fish to catch. The only thing I switch sometimes, if it's not working that well, I use only 2 feeders, and with the 3rd slot I do some spin fishing around the place. And as a tip, I clip my lines at 13, 15 and 20. And if one of those spots produce more than others, I start clipping all my lines at the same distance and go to town. Time to sell another net. 177 silver again. Keep them coming and I'm going to be rich. I can feel it. With my new riches, I go buy a shovel. That's used to dig worms. I equip it to a slot and I give it a go. And surprise, I don't think it was like this before. God damn it. My entire energy gone. Thanks game. I mean, I am not a fit guy, but I'm pretty sure I can use the shovel at least 20 times until I need the rest. Realism, right? Oh well, I go back to my spot and continue my rampage through the fish population on Winding. After I'm fishing for a while, I decide I want to do some crafting, because I want to get to 35% at some point to be able to make myself bream ground bait and other stuff. And I want to make fish pieces. I start doing wet bread, the simplest thing in the world, right? Well, not according to the developers. For them, this process is hard and you need to carefully pour the exact amount of water on the bread or it all goes bad. This is exactly what happened to me and was pretty infuriating. I mean, come on devs, let me show you how it's done. I take an old slice of bread, cut the crust and throw it in the water. It doesn't even matter for how long it stays in it, because I can do this. I squeeze the bread until I leave the amount of water I need inside it, and voila! I have a good wet bread ball, ready to use for fishing. I can do this 1 million times and I guarantee you, I will not fail a single time. Okay, jokes aside now, why I'm going apeshit with this? Because I know. I just know how much silver you waste due to this shit. And bread is cheap, no problem, but soon ingredients will cost 10 to 20 silver. Failing to do basic shit like this, which in my opinion shouldn't be failable, stings later into the game. I mean, I did it 10 times, why the hell I failed the 11th time? Did my IQ drop suddenly by 50%? Anyway, I spent too much ranting about this already, but it's something that greatly annoyed me first time I played this and now seems even more infuriating. I failed to reel in a big boy. Damn, that could have been my new personal best and get me to level 15. Oh well, it happens. I keep fishing the way I described earlier with clips at 30, 15 and 19. My net is halfway filled. I get to 50 but I keep going. This spot is too good. I get something pretty big on the line. I suspect what it is. Yeah, the occasional burbot you get during the early hours of the morning in this spot, if you cast near the reeds. Good fish, good XP and silver too. Plenty of people are getting trophy rough in chat. I start to get a bit jealous, but it's always nice to say nice words. I got a bite. Come on, it's my turn to get a trophy. Yeah, what can I say? I'm lucky. And it's 6 grams bigger. Nice one. I got one donuts and this guy asks me in private where did I catch it, and I tell him. After that we start talking for a while to pass the time, and he sends me a feeder setup I was just trying to buy. If you ever see this Onki, thanks again bro. I already put that feeder to great stress and will continue to do so for a while. I wish you tight lines. To switch things up a bit, I moved to my other spot. I got some success during the days to use my spinning setup a bit. After some more fishing on those 2 locations, I go sell my net, and surprise, I got Donet's trophy at some point and the Nace trophy. But as I said, these fish are small, so sorry, I don't have recordings for any of them. I can only show you the net. After 2 or so cafe orders completed, I sell the entire net, saying goodbye to my trophies, and I make over 350 silver. That's a pretty good haul. That amount of silver is not common though, I was lucky. Ho ho ho, what is this? I got the devilfish. Could have just switched water bodies at this point, but I stayed. I couldn't leave this spot yet. After an uneventful day, I get this beauty. Good silver and XP right there. Cool thing with these is you can see the XP jump whenever you catch one. Going to sell another net, giving me almost 300 silver. Plus a day's cafe order that gave 24. With almost 1k silver on my name, I think it's time to buy the 3rd feeder setup so I can fish with style. I'm almost ready for the bream fishing I will do on the old burg later on. With that in mind, I start making ground bait, because I want to be able to make bream ground bait before I go there. After I waste a lot of ground crackers, I finally get to 30. Now I can make the bream mix. But now I'm out of silver, I can't leave the place. So back to my spot, I get to level 17. Nothing special at this point, I fill up my net like there is no tomorrow. All kinds of white breams and small fish with the occasional jackpot like this. Of course I got another trophy I didn't record it. It was a white bream this time. The stars of the show are still my donuts. 327 silver net, but I had some long breaks and AFK times during this session. Next day I decided to stay just a bit longer on this spot. During all this time, since I got the shovel, I used it when my energy was full and always kept plenty of bread on me to regain it back for cheap. This spot is perfect for this, because most of the time you don't need much energy to reel in the fish, this being in contrast with other lakes. Can make garlic dough, that's one of the recipes I need for bream fishing, and soon I'll be able to cut small cheap fish into pieces, so I can fish eels and burbots and many other species. All that is good and all, but I need silver to push all those skills, so I resume my donuts hunting during the night. And during daytime, I run around spin fishing. I get to level 18 with the help of these little guys. With all this feeder fishing, I leveled my bottom skills quite a bit. My setups are all similar to this. I think I got 50 gram sinkers on the rest of the rods though. 30 grams seems too heavy for this distance in my opinion. Almost 300 silver in this net. Hopefully I stop at this point and move on. We'll need some baits if I'm to swap water bodies, so I start making some garlic dough. And pea porridge, because I try to go for pieces of fish so I can start hoarding those, as I will need a lot later on. And I remember I kept hearing devs throwing the word realistic left and right when it was in their favor. But then we have stuff like this. How is this realistic to waste an entire fish for failing to fillet? I mean, sure, I failed to cut almost at most half of it. But where's the other half? This remained unchanged since release, so I don't think it will ever go away. I even think I was failing less while doing crafting or cutting fish or whatever. But this was many years ago, so I might be wrong. As I said, the community is great. Good mature people all around, organizing tournaments, helping others, and so on. If chat looks dead but there are plenty of people around, say a few nice words and you spark a nice conversation and maybe make a few friends. And correct me if I'm in the comments, if I talk out of my ass, because I base a lot of what I say with my past experiences with the game. Now it can be completely changed for all I know, and I will be looking like an idiot, so that's that. If you are a patient person and you are in for the long haul, 1 year, 2 years, depending on how much time you have, this game is good. Best fishing experience overall on the market, with the usual free-to-play annoyances implemented by developers to make you want to pay. So, from a patient, retired person point of view who likes fishing, this gets a 7.5 out of 10, or hell even more, because it's the best we have. Now, for someone who wants to see progress each day or wants to participate in high-end tournaments and always hunt for bigger and bigger fish, or it's a 30-year-old with family and has to work, this is 5 out of 10 or less. I mean, it's cool up to a point. I stayed until level 32 or so last time, so I played it quite a bit. For those guys, I recommend Fisher Online. I had a decent experience with that when it released. No idea how it evolved though, so do some research beforehand. Because that's not free to play as far as I know. I left this for the end because people might get bored of my rants with monetization in games, and I want to make it easy for them to skip this part if they want. So thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, I appreciate it. As I said time and time again, I'm all for the developers making money, but being involved in gaming industry as a developer, I know how hard or easy it is to make something. And I don't have any problem with games like DCS because I know how much work is poured into one of those machines or one of the maps that they release. In a way, I look at those almost like standalone games. So seeing a reel in this game cost 158 gold, that's 200 euros or something, I didn't even look it up, makes me a bit sick. I own good Shimano reels in real life that I use when I go carp fishing, and I paid under 150 euros for each one. And guys, I shit you not, I can make that 3D model of the in-game reel in 1 day, with more than 1 lunch breaks. That's infinite value for the developers. The rest of the functionality should be easy to implement depending on their engine and how they set stuff up. That's one of my biggest problems with monetization in free-to-play games. Asking for too much when in fact they offer almost nothing in return. Value for money is inflated by a few parameters set in a table somewhere. When someone asks 20 bucks for a skin that has only different hue values on the diffuse texture, same model, same animations, or in this case 150 big ones for one reel, one of three you will want. Or maybe you want four setups. I know you don't have to buy anything with real money, yada yada. Everyone knows that. The equivalent of that reel cost over 30,000 silver. And it takes too long for you to grind, I don't know, 150,000 silver, or how much you need to buy 3 of those setups. I didn't even watch how much rods cost, but I suspect they are expensive too. So a decent Donetsk rough gives you 40-50 silver. And that is a lot of silver for such a small fish, and you get one of those per hour if you're lucky. As far as I know, there are not many fish that give you so much currency with so little wear on your gear. And on top of that, you will get all the silver things in this game, from failing to craft basic stuff, travel costs, boat rental, to the occasional snag or spool that makes you lose your tackle, to repair costs and replacement parts on your reels. On higher setups, those repairs are freaking huge, and depending on what you fish, the reels might get damaged pretty fast. I remember fishing big carp on Bear Lake, or sturgeon and catfish on Sura back in the day, and seeing a few % of damage on components after each fish. I am talking about big fish, by the way, over 50 kilograms. My point with this being, you remember the days when you were fishing Donetsk on winning rivulet and making a buck. You are heavily punished when you are higher level and go for big fish. Another problem I remember I had with the other account, no matter what setup I used, bigger fish were taking line forever. That's in most of the cases not realistic and not even fun. It's bad gameplay to sit there running around the lake for 30 minutes or one real life hour to reel in a fish that gives you bad rewards and cramps in your finger. I saw a girl reeling in an, I don't know, 50 plus kilogram grass carp like it was nothing. In this game, no idea if there is a setup that lets you do that, and it's annoying to fight a fish for so long. If you watch this until the end, don't let me turn you away from the game. That's not my intention. Try it, it's free, and maybe it clicks with you, who knows. And remember, if you want to see my journey continue, give this video some love and I'll try to make it happen. This is all I got. See ya.